Hello and thank you for joining us on the news on NTA International. I am Charles Alpha Shegwajai is our sign language interpreter. But first, a quick look at some of our top stories. More cases of mpox has been recorded around the world in barely 72 hours. The World Health Organization declared the illness an emergency. U.S. Democratic Party candidate for November election Kamala Harris unveils her policy agenda for America with focus on the economy. And aviation and train services suspended and passengers asked to disembark for fear of imminent flood. President Bola Tinubu has returned to Abuja after a 3-day official visit to Malabo, Equatorial Guinea. President Tinubu, who visited the Central African country on the invitation of his counterpart, President Theodore Obiang Nguema of Equatorial Guinea, returned this Friday evening. On arrival in Malabo on Wednesday, the president embarked on a number of diplomatic and economic activities between Nigeria and Equatorial Guinea, including the signing of the Gulf of Guinea pipeline agreement. President Tinubu also sealed agreements on the resuscitation of the Nigeria-Equatorial Guinea Joint National Commission, followed by many other bilateral activities. Now, Pakistan has detected 3 cases of mpox virus, previously known as monkeypox virus. The health department in northern Khyber province said on Friday. However, reports have it that it is not yet clear which variants the patients have been infected with. Details now with Justin Bermunye.
This comes 2 days after the World Health Organization declared a global health emergency amid increasing cases of the disease in Africa. The mpox surge in Africa, which has also affected Burundi, Kenya, Rwanda and Uganda, prompted the World Health Organization on Wednesday to declare a public health emergency of international concern, the highest alarm it can sound. Relatively, Sweden's Public Health Agency said on Thursday that it had registered a case of the clade 1b subclade, the same new strain that has surged in the DRC since September 2023, and the first of such infection outside the African continent. According to the agency, the mpox strain that caused the case in Pakistan was not immediately known on Friday, the Ministry of Health said in a statement. The statement said the affected person has come from a Gulf country. The Pakistan patient is a 34-year-old man and the first confirmed case we have this year of mpox, said Ishad Rogani, Director of Public Health in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province, where the man is being treated. He added that for genetic sequencing of the strain, they have sent samples to Islamabad. There have been 27,000 cases and more than 1,100 deaths, mainly among children, in Congo since the current outbreak began in January 2023. Mpox is a viral illness caused by the monkeypox virus, a species of the genus Orthopox virus. The virus was first identified by scientists in 1958 when there were outbreaks of a pox-like disease in monkeys. Reports have it that until recently, most human cases were seen in people in Central and West Africa who had close contact with infected animals. Justin Bermunye, NTA News.
Thousands of people in northern Japan were ordered to evacuate Friday because of the risk of flooding and mudslide from a powerful typhoon approaching in the Pacific Ocean. Justin Bermunye has again the reports.
Flights and trains in the Tokyo area were cancelled as warnings were issued for strong wind and heavy rainfall from Typhoon Ill, expected to reach waters near Tokyo in the evening and then continue north, bringing stormy conditions to the northern Kanto and Tohoku regions on Saturday. The Japan Meteorological Agency says it had sustained winds of 162 kilometers per hour with higher breeze Friday morning and was moving north at 15 kilometers per hour. Reports say Ampil was not expected to make landfall and could weaken to a tropical storm by Sunday. An evacuation order was sent to the more than 320,000 residents of the city of Iwaki in Fukushima Prefecture. More than 30 places were offered as safe locations to stay, including school, gymnasiums, and community centers. Evacuation warnings were also sent to high-risk areas in the cities of Asahi and Mobarashi in Chiba Prefecture east of Tokyo. Justin Bemunyi, NTA News.
From Japan, Justin Belny again reports that a 6.1 magnitude earthquake shook the waters of Hualien County in China's Taiwan at 7:35 a.m. Friday, and that is according to the China Earthquake Network Center. He also reports that Japan has lifted the mega earthquake warning after 1 week.
The epicenter was monitored at 23.74 degrees north latitude and 121.95 degrees east longitude. The quake struck at a depth of 16 kilometers, said a report issued by the CENC. A previous warning issued after southwestern Japan was jolted on Thursday by a strong 7.1 magnitude earthquake, forcing Prime Minister Fumio Kishida to cancel his trip to Central Asia on Friday. It is the first of such advisory for areas around the Nankai Trough, stretching from southwestern to central Japan, issued by Japan Meteorological Agency, Tokyo-based Kyodo News reported. Several injuries and damage to buildings were reported in Miyazaki and 2 neighboring provinces after the earthquake hit the region on Thursday. In the meantime, Japan has lifted its warning about a potential megaquake 1 week after it was issued. The warning advised people to be alert but not evacuate, saying the probability of a major earthquake was higher than usual, but it was not imminent. The Japanese government said it was no longer asking people to take special precautions and they were free to go back to normal lifestyles. Following the warning, thousands of Japanese people cancelled planned trips and stocked up on essentials, while some high-speed rail travel was also affected. Justin Bemunyi, NTA News.
And in Uganda, Kampala Metropolitan Police spokesman Patrick Onyango said Friday that 4 more bodies have been recovered from the site of a massive garbage landslide in the Ugandan capital, bringing the death toll to 34. The collapse at the landfill in the northern district of Kitizi buried people, homes and livestock in mountains of Fetid West. An MP for the area has warned that the number of those missing could still rise. The recovery of victims from continuing, he said, despite part of the landslide site flooding preventing the use of excavators. He added that one of the bodies discovered on Thursday was a man who had been missing since 2022, called Abdul Nasir. With a discovery of the bodies, the total number of those missing has decreased to 35 from an earlier official toll of 39. However, Shadow Foreign Affairs Minister Muwada Nkuyingi, who is also the area's representative in Parliament, said there are more people missing compared to what police are reporting. Excavators have been churning through the huge rubbish mods, often during torrential rain, and Kampala City Mayor Arias Lukwago described the incident as a national disaster. He had previously warned about the risk of overflowing waste from the site, which was established in 1996 and takes in almost all garbage collected across Kampala. Now, the United Nations has asked for breaks in the fighting in Gaza for 7 days to vaccinate more than 640,000 children against polio, which has been discovered in the territory's wastewater. The World Health Organization confirmed that United Nations agencies want to provide a novel oral polio vaccine type 2, NTAi, to children under 10 starting later this month. It added that without the humanitarian pauses, the delivery of the campaign will not be possible. UN humanitarians said on Wednesday that the risk of polio spreading in Gaza remains high unless there is an urgent and comprehensive response to the serious health threats. The World Health Organization and United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, explained in an update that at least 2 rounds of orally delivered polio vaccine will be necessary to shut down transmission. The development comes after vaccine-derived poliovirus type 2 was identified on 16 July by the Global Polio Laboratory Network in sewage samples collected on 23 June from Khan Yunis and Deir al-Bala. Now, in the United States, Vice President Kamala Harris has unveiled a populist policy plan for America. The Democratic candidates for the November presidential election hinge her policy plan on the economy, marking it the first time Harris has released a major policy initiative since President Biden dropped out of the race last month. On housing, the policy will target the construction of 3 million new housing units in her first 4 years in office. The Biden administration has previously called for the construction of 2 million new homes. Harris will also call for a new tax incentive for builders that construct properties for first-time home buyers and will propose a $40 billion fund to help local governments find solutions to the lack of housing supply. Harris is also proposing an expansion of the child tax credit scheme to provide a $6,000 tax cut to families with newborns. Harris also wants to restore the child tax credit to the pandemic era to this end, and a proposal for earned income tax credits. And now for Africa to optimize her advantage in abundant natural resources and take a quantum leap in human development, the continent must look inward for solutions, starting with right education for her youth. Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu gave this submission during an audience to Burundian Ambassador to Nigeria, Edward Nduwimana. State House correspondent NTAi has the report.
Since 2006, Nigeria and Burundi have enjoyed good relations, and the ambassador of the East African country, Edward Nduwimana, is at the office of Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu on a mission to strengthen the ties. The solution to Africa's problems lie with Africans, the First Lady was quick to say, noting that it is time for African countries to strengthen the bond of brotherhood for development on the continent. She says the days of taking the natural resources that the continent is endowed with for granted are over, and called on leaders to work towards empowering and enlisting youths in developmental efforts.
And I thank God that Africa has known that the way out for us is to make sure that our youth are educated so that they can really have the right of place in the marketplace. So, and I believe that the youth should realize that they need to really brace themselves up. When we continue to do what is right for them and also lead by example, we'll be able to win our youth over so that they can join in how we build, the next century.
While Burundi's desire and request for investment from Nigeria has already been laid before the president, the ambassador says the visit is to register his country's appreciation for the First Lady's interest and support for education. The ambassador, who spoke in French, acknowledged that Burundi has had its fair share of challenges, but notes that the country is now back on the path of peace and progress.
We have also established a commission for peace and reconciliation and we are on our way to development.
He equally presented an invitation from the First Lady of Burundi, Angeline Ndayubaha, to her Nigerian counterpart, seeking a visit to Burundi. In the State House, Adeni Taiwo, NTA News.
And you've been watching the news live on NTA International. We will take a quick break now. Please stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. Protection of fundamental rights of the people is a dire obligation on both state and non-state actors. By virtue of several proclamations, these are universal rights. The Latumbi of our Judiciary Desk takes a look at how the collaboration between ECOWAS Community Court and the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugee will protect the rights of the people.
That they are refugees, asylum seekers, or stateless persons does not take away from them their fundamental rights. The rights of these set of people, including those of internally displaced persons, are protected by several United Nations treaties affirmed by some states all over the world. International, national and subnational tiers of government are under obligation to protect this category of people. The protection of their rights brought about the establishment of the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. It is a known fact that everyone has the right to life, liberty, and the right to freedom from fear. These are the rights which the collaboration between the ECOWAS Community Court and the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees seek to protect. Vice President of the ECOWAS Community Court affirmed the resolve of the court to continue to uphold fundamental rights of the people.
Now, regarding the practical implementation of the amicus curiae or expert opinions, I'd like to reassure you that the President of the court, though absent, has given instructions to the Chief Registrar.
I really want to thank the court for its incredible collaboration with UNHCR and really the initiatives that it has taken to ensure that the rights of refugees, internally displaced persons and stateless persons within the ECOWAS community, that their rights are respected through the decisions of the court.
This resolution of the court tallies with the mandate of the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees.
Beyond the competence of the court and beyond the space of the ECOWAS community, we of course carry out our mandate activities regarding the protection of refugees and stateless persons worldwide. This is of course a global mandate that we have. We do have a presence in 103 countries and in about 150 locations. And our job is essentially that which, in fact, where we work together with the courts as well, which is to ensure that the host governments respect the rights of refugees and stateless persons and internally displaced persons.
Available record has shown that over 117 million people worldwide are forcibly displaced. In Abuja, Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
And in line with the President's directive to boost food security, the Federal Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation has requested collaboration with the World Bank to accelerate ongoing rehabilitation of the Goronyo Dam spillways. Minister of State Bello Muhammad Goronyo made the appeal during a courtesy visit by the World Bank Country Director Ndiame Diop at the ministry's headquarters in Abuja. The minister said Goronyo Dam, which was constructed in the mid-80s for farming and other economic activities, is currently undergoing repairs by the federal government. He noted that collaborations with the World Bank will tremendously accelerate repairs on gates of the dam spillway, which have become non-operational following their conversion to the automatic system. The World Bank Country Director reaffirmed the country's commitment to sustaining collaboration with the federal government in areas of agricultural sector and other World Bank assisted projects in the country. And now, any laboratory without an automated system management should be shut down. And these were the words of the Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare, Dr. Tunji Alausa, as he puts in place a technical team on national laboratory regulation and inspection in Nigeria. Uchogoshiku reports that this is part of efforts to improve medical laboratories and eliminate quackery in the country.
Medical laboratories play a crucial role in healthcare, providing critical test results that inform diagnosis and treatment. However, the sector in Nigeria has been plagued by quackery, with unqualified practitioners and substandard facilities putting lives at risk. This has informed the need for stricter regulation and enforcement, which this 15-member technical team on national laboratory regulation and inspection against quackery is mandated to achieve.
And the work of this technical working group will border as well on the DNO project, and they've also given commitment to you, the registrar, that they will help with the improvement of your digital platform as well, and a way that the DNO will fit into the system.
Through an already established framework for accreditation, inspection and certification of medical laboratories, the Medical Laboratory Science Council of Nigeria technical team promised a safe, reliable and effective healthcare for all.
Considering the antecedents of members of the technical team, the people of this country can henceforth look forward to more sensitive and patient-centered regulatory activities that benchmark international best practices. In the next 6 months, the story of laboratory practice in this country will change.
The changes needed in the outcomes of Nigeria's medical laboratories are expected within the 2-year tenure of the team. Uche Ugochukwu, NTA News.
The Voice of Nigeria, VON, is seeking the support of Galaxy Backbone in the area of data provision and protection to ensure smooth transmission of its programs across all her broadcast platforms. Director General of VON, Jibril Babandachi, sought their collaboration when he paid a courtesy visit on the Managing Director of Galaxy Backbone, Professor Ibrahim Adepoju, in Abuja. Chukwuno Sonwabeze reports.
The visit, DG of VON, Jibril Babandache, said is in furtherance of his determination to expand and deepen the scope of partnership between Voice of Nigeria and Galaxy Backbone. He emphasized that synergy amongst government agencies will no doubt aid the realization of the present administration's programs and policies as embedded in the Renewed Hope agenda.
You have given us much support, and I want to offer a platform for you to be able to tell your story. We appreciate the support you are giving to us in terms of the quality of service, but we require more on that in terms of what we do, not just in our headquarters. So we will require that so that we can deepen and continue to serve Nigerians very well.
We need to collaborate more in the interest of the citizens that we both serve. We also need to collaborate to ensure that we help our principal, which is the president of the nation, to fulfill the mandates in terms of the priority areas and to ensure that the citizens can enjoy the fruit of democracy.
Babandachi used the visit to restate VON's commitment towards meeting her financial obligations to Galaxy Backbone, as well as appealed for some considerations in terms of cost of services being rendered to VON by the agency. Chukwuno Sonwabweze, NTA News.
The committee to see to the successful conduct of the 2024 Service of 9 Lessons and Carols has been inaugurated. The Director General of NTA, Saliu Abdul Hamid Dembos, represented by the Executive Director Engineering EJ Osagi, assured the committee's representatives from NTA, FRCN and VON of the foremost media organization support for the success of the annual event.
But I know that may not be enough for us. So if you have to have a very good outing, a very rich outing, then money will be spent. Money has to be spent. So and that money has to be sourced for.
NTA is to host this year's edition.
Into the budgeting and the sponsorship of the program.
We are not going to fall short of the expectations. So at the end of the day, the name of the Lord will be glorified.
The 2024 Service of 9 Lessons and Carol is expected to hold first Sunday of December. And up next is our weather report. this is where we end the news. Thanks for being part of it. I am Charles Alpha. Shegun Ajayi has been our interpreter.